The pain hit Quinn Blackwood like a freight train, radiating from his chest in sharp, electrical bursts. He clutched at his shirt, fingers trembling as he collapsed onto the polished floor of the abandoned warehouse. His breathing came in short, desperate gasps as his vision blurred around the edges. This wasn't how his exploration was supposed to go. "Help," he whispered, his voice barely audible even to himself. The abandoned warehouse, rumored to be a government testing facility, had seemed like the perfect place to gather research for his documentary about conspiracy theories. Now, as his heart skipped and fluttered erratically, Quinn realized he had made a terrible mistake coming here alone. A brilliant blue light suddenly flooded the warehouse, casting long shadows across the concrete floor. Quinn squinted, raising a weak hand to shield his eyes from the blinding glare. The light intensified, accompanied by a high-pitched whine that made his teeth ache. The last thing he remembered before losing consciousness was the strange sensation of floating upward, as if gravity had suddenly released its hold on him. When Quinn regained consciousness, he was lying on something cold and smooth. Not concrete, this surface felt almost like glass, but with a slight give to it, like some kind of advanced polymer. His chest still ached, but the sharp, stabbing pain had subsided to a dull throb. He tried to sit up, only to discover he couldn't move. "Subject is conscious," announced a melodic voice from somewhere beyond his field of vision. The words were English, but spoken with an unusual cadence, as if the speaker had learned the language from technical manuals rather than conversation. Quinn strained to turn his head, managing only the slightest movement. From his peripheral vision, he caught sight of a tall, slender figure moving toward him. The being was at least 7 feet tall, with gray-blue skin that seemed to shimmer under the bright lights. Its head was elongated, with large, almond-shaped eyes that glowed with an inner amber light. The alien, because what else could it be, had 4 long, delicate fingers on each hand and wore what appeared to be a form-fitting silver uniform. "Where am I?" Quinn croaked, his throat dry and raw. The alien tilted its head, studying him with those unsettling amber eyes. "You are aboard the medical vessel Teleris. I am Dr. Vexel, chief xenobiologist of the Arcturian medical fleet." Quinn tried to process this information, but his brain felt sluggish. "Why can't I move?" "Biosuppression field," Dr. Vexel explained, moving closer and hovering a handheld device over Quinn's chest. The device emitted a soft blue glow and made quiet beeping sounds. "It prevents sudden movements that might cause further harm. Your biological readings were highly erratic when we found you." "My heart," Quinn said, memories of his collapse flooding back. "I have a heart condition. I need my medication." Dr. Vexel made a trilling sound that might have been surprise or interest. "Your cardiac rhythm is indeed abnormal. Our scans detected a foreign object embedded in your cardiac tissue." The alien's expression shifted subtly, the outer ridges of its face tightening. "You have been infected with a parasitic implant." Quinn blinked in confusion. "Parasite? No, that's my pacemaker. It regulates my heartbeat." The alien doctor ignored him, turning to speak to another being that had entered Quinn's field of vision. This second alien was shorter, with a more greenish tint to its skin. "Prepare the extraction chamber, Nelox," Dr. Vexel instructed. "This human has been compromised by a technological parasite. It appears to be mechanically interfering with the cardiac function." The second alien Nelox made a clicking sound of acknowledgement and moved away. Quinn felt a surge of panic rising in his chest. "Wait. You don't understand," he called out, struggling against the invisible force holding him in place. "It's not a parasite, it's a medical device. I need it to live." Dr. Vexel turned back to him, expression unreadable. Many host organisms develop symbiotic relationships with their parasites, becoming dependent on them. Do not worry, human. We will free you from this technological infection. My name is Quinn Blackwood, he said, trying to inject authority into his voice despite his vulnerable position. And that parasite is keeping me alive. It's human technology, a pacemaker. Without it, my heart won't function properly. Dr. Vexel seemed to consider this for a moment, then shook his elongated head. Our scans indicate the device is sending electrical impulses into your cardiac tissue at irregular intervals. This is consistent with parasitic behavior, disrupting natural biological functions to serve its own purpose. That's what it's supposed to do. Quinn's voice rose in desperation. My heart doesn't beat correctly on its own. The pacemaker sends electrical signals to maintain a regular rhythm. The alien doctor made a gesture that Quinn couldn't interpret. A fascinating rationalization. The parasitic technology has clearly integrated deeply with your consciousness as well. He turned away, moving toward a console lined with blinking lights and flowing symbols. The procedure will be painless. Afterward, your body will begin the natural healing process. Quinn felt cold fear wash over him. These aliens were going to remove his pacemaker, thinking they were helping him. Without it, he could die within minutes. Please, he begged, contact Earth. Speak to a human doctor. They can explain what a pacemaker is. Dr. Vexel paused, turning back to face Quinn. Earth is 17 light-years from our current position. Their primitive communication methods would take decades to reach us. The alien moved closer, studying Quinn with what might have been genuine concern. I understand your fear. All host organisms experience anxiety when separated from their parasites. Quinn closed his eyes, trying to think. He needed to convince this alien doctor that the pacemaker was beneficial technology, not a parasite. But how could he explain human medical technology to a being that had clearly never encountered it before? Dr. Vexel, he said slowly, opening his eyes again. On Earth, we create devices to help our bodies when they malfunction. My heart has a condition called arrhythmia. It doesn't beat in the correct pattern. The device you detected, the pacemaker, was surgically implanted by human doctors to correct this problem. It's not alive. It's not feeding off me. It's a tool like... He glanced around the room like the instruments you use for healing. The alien's amber eyes blinked slowly. Interesting. You claim this is intentional technological augmentation, not parasitic infestation. Yes, Quinn said, relief flooding through him. Exactly. Dr. Vexel made a humming sound. This requires further investigation. I will perform a more detailed scan of the device. He moved to a nearby console and input a series of commands. A moment later, a three-dimensional holographic image appeared above Quinn, showing his heart with the pacemaker attached. The image rotated slowly, highlighting the device and its connections to his cardiac tissue. Fascinating construction, Dr. Vexel murmured. Primitive but purposeful in design. He manipulated the image, zooming in on the pacemaker. The energy source is self-contained and the programming appears to be responding to your cardiac irregularities. Quinn felt a flicker of hope. You see, it's helping me, not harming me. The alien doctor continued studying the holographic display. The concept is intriguing. Your species implants machinery to compensate for biological deficiencies. We have encountered similar practices in other civilizations, though usually at a more advanced technological level. So you believe me? Quinn asked cautiously. I am. Uncertain, Dr. Vexel admitted. The device matches your description of its purpose, but I have never encountered human medical technology before. It could still be a parasite that has evolved to mimic beneficial technology. Quinn fought down his frustration. "Is there any way I can prove it to you?" Dr. Vexel considered this for a moment. "Perhaps. Our ship's database contains information on thousands of species and their known parasites. I could cross-reference this device against known technological parasites." "Please do that," Quinn said. "And while you're checking, could you maybe loosen this biosuppression field? It's uncomfortable." The alien made an adjustment on a nearby panel, and Quinn felt the pressure holding him down ease slightly. He still couldn't sit up, but he could move his head and arms a little. "Thank you," he said, flexing his fingers gratefully. Dr. Vexel moved to a larger console across the room and began inputting data. As the alien worked, Quinn took the opportunity to examine his surroundings more carefully. The medical bay was circular, with smooth, pale walls that seemed to glow with their own inner light. Various instruments and devices hung from the ceiling or protruded from the walls, none of which Quinn recognized. The floor beneath him was the same semi-flexible material he had noticed earlier, now revealing itself to be slightly translucent, with complex circuitry visible beneath its surface. After several minutes, Dr. Vexel returned to Quinn's side. "I have found no exact match for your device in our parasite database. However, this does not definitively prove your claim," Quinn sighed. "What would convince you?" "I would need to understand the exact function and purpose of this device," the alien doctor replied. "If it truly is beneficial medical technology, there should be observable evidence of its positive effects on your physiology." An idea struck Quinn. "What if you monitored my heart function while temporarily deactivating the pacemaker? You'd see the difference immediately." As soon as the words left his mouth, Quinn realized the danger of his suggestion. If they shut off his pacemaker, even briefly, it could be deadly. Dr. Vexel's eyes widened slightly. "An interesting proposal, but potentially dangerous if your claims are true." "I would not risk your life on such a test." Relief washed over Quinn. At least the alien doctor valued his patient's safety. "Then what do you suggest?" "I will consult with the ship's medical AI," Dr. Vexel decided. "Its database includes theoretical models of numerous species' physiologies, including humans. Perhaps it can determine whether this device serves the purpose you claim." As the alien doctor moved away to confer with the ship's AI, the second alien Nelox approached Quinn's bed. "You are the first human I have encountered," Nelox said, voice higher and more melodic than Dr. Vexel's. "Your species is not well documented in our archives." "We're relatively new to interstellar attention, I guess," Quinn replied, trying to maintain a calm demeanor despite his precarious situation. "How many other species have you encountered, personally?" 27, Nelox answered. "Our medical fleet serves a sector containing over 200 documented intelligent species." Quinn's eyes widened. 200, that's overwhelming to think about. Nelox made a sound that might have been a laugh. "The galaxy is teeming with life, human Quinn. Your species' isolation is unusual but not unique. Many civilizations develop in stellar nurseries with few neighboring systems." Before Quinn could respond, Dr. Vexel returned, accompanied by a hovering, spherical device about the size of a basketball. The sphere glowed with a soft, pulsating light that shifted between blue and green. "This is Medix, our medical artificial intelligence," Dr. Vexel explained. "It has analyzed your condition and the device in your chest." The sphere floated closer to Quinn, scanning him with a thin beam of light. When it spoke, its voice was surprisingly warm and resonant. "Greetings, human Quinn Blackwood. I have reviewed your physiological data and the specifications of the implanted device. Based on my analysis, I believe Dr. Vexel's initial assessment requires revision. Quinn held his breath, waiting for the AI's verdict. The device matches known parameters for human medical technology described in our theoretical databases, Medics continued. It appears to be an artificial cardiac pacemaker, designed to regulate heartbeat through controlled electrical impulses. This is consistent with the human Quinn's explanation. Dr. Vexel's expression shifted to what Quinn interpreted as surprise. You are certain, Medics? The technology seems crude for such a critical biological function. Human medical technology is indeed less advanced than many spacefaring civilizations, Medics acknowledged, but they have developed effective solutions within their technological limitations. This device is not parasitic in nature, but rather a deliberate medical implant. Quinn exhaled in relief. Thank you, Medics. Dr. Vexel's posture changed, his tall frame seeming to shrink slightly. I appear to have made a significant error in diagnosis. I offer my sincere apologies, human Quinn. It's understandable, Quinn said, genuinely relieved that the alien now believed him. You've never encountered human medical technology before, but please tell me you're not going to remove my pacemaker now. Certainly not, Dr. Vexel assured him. Such an action would clearly endanger your life. However, I am concerned about the state of your device. Our scans indicate it is functioning at reduced efficiency, which may explain the cardiac event you experienced before we found you. Quinn frowned. My pacemaker is malfunctioning. That would explain the chest pains I've been having recently. Dr. Vexel manipulated the holographic display again, highlighting a portion of the pacemaker. This power cell appears to be deteriorating. Its energy output is fluctuating, causing irregular stimulation of your cardiac tissue. Can you fix it? Quinn asked hesitantly. The alien doctor exchanged glances with Medics. Possibly. While your technology is primitive by our standards, the basic principles are understandable. With Medics' assistance, I believe we could stabilize the device's power source. Or, Nelox interjected, stepping forward, we could offer a more permanent solution. Quinn turned his head toward the smaller alien. What kind of solution? Nelox gestured to Dr. Vexel, who nodded in agreement. The Arcturian medical fleet specializes in adaptive medical technology. We could replace your primitive pacemaker with one of our biocompatible cardiac regulators. It would function similarly but with significantly improved efficiency and longevity. Quinn's mind raced. The offer was tempting but frightening. Would it be safe? I mean, your technology is designed for other species, not humans. Medics can adapt the technology to human physiology, Dr. Vexel explained. The procedure would be minimally invasive and would eliminate the need for future replacements. Our cardiac regulators are designed to last the recipient's natural lifespan. And if something goes wrong, Quinn asked. We would maintain your original device, Dr. Vexel assured him. If any complications arose, we could simply reimplant your pacemaker. However, I must stress that your current device is failing. Without intervention, you will likely experience increasingly severe cardiac events. Quinn closed his eyes, considering his options. His pacemaker was relatively new, only 2 years old, but he had been experiencing concerning symptoms for the past few months. His cardiologist had suggested the battery might be depleting faster than expected, possibly requiring early replacement. The thought of never needing another pacemaker surgery was appealing, but accepting alien medical technology seemed like an enormous leap of faith. I need time to think about this, he finally said. Of course, Dr. Vexel replied. However, I should inform you that we will be departing this sector within 36 Earth hours. Our mission requires us to continue to the Cygnus arm. "You're leaving Earth?" Quinn asked, suddenly realizing the implications. "Wait, how will I get back home?" Dr. Vexel tilted his head. "We can return you to the location where we found you before our departure. Alternatively, you could remain aboard until our mission concludes in approximately 6 of your months, at which point we would return to this sector." Quinn's mind reeled at the thought of spending 6 months on an alien spaceship. Under different circumstances, it might have been the opportunity of a lifetime. He was, after all, a documentary filmmaker with a particular interest in extraterrestrial theories. But his life on Earth, his friends, his work, everything would think he had disappeared. "If I choose to go back to Earth, can you at least stabilize my current pacemaker?" he asked. "Yes," Dr. Vexel confirmed. "We can implement a temporary solution that should extend its functionality for approximately 1 of your Earth years. This would give you time to seek replacement through your own medical system." Quinn nodded slowly. "And if I choose to accept your advanced pacemaker?" "The procedure would require approximately 6 hours, followed by a recovery period of 12 hours," Dr. Vexel explained. "You would be fully healed before we depart this sector, and we would return you to Earth with detailed medical documentation of the procedure. Documentation that no human doctor would understand or believe," Quinn pointed out. Medics floated closer. "I could provide the information in a format compatible with human medical databases, including translations of all relevant technical specifications." Quinn stared at the ceiling, weighing his options. The rational part of his brain told him to play it safe, get his existing pacemaker stabilized and return to Earth. But another part of him, the part that had driven him to explore abandoned warehouses and chase conspiracy theories, was drawn to the extraordinary opportunity before him. "If I accept your advanced pacemaker," he said slowly, "what would it be capable of that my current one isn't?" Dr. Vexel's eyes brightened slightly. "Our cardiac regulator adapts to the body's changing needs, adjusting its output based on real-time monitoring of multiple physiological factors. It can detect early signs of cardiac stress and compensate accordingly. Additionally, it contains a small medical AI that can alert you to potential health concerns before they become serious." "A medical AI? Inside my body?" Quinn couldn't hide his surprise. "A simplified version of Medics," Dr. Vexel clarified. "It would focus solely on cardiac function and related systems." Quinn took a deep breath. "And this device would be permanent. What happens when I eventually die of old age with alien technology inside me?" "The regulator is designed to biodegrade completely within 72 hours after detecting cessation of all biological functions," Nellox explained. "It would leave no trace of non-human technology." Quinn smiled wryly. "You've thought of everything." "We are bound by strict non-interference protocols," Dr. Vexel said. "Our primary directive is to heal, but we must also protect developing civilizations from technological contamination. That is why we were studying your planet from a distance when we detected your medical distress." Quinn finally made his decision. "I'll accept your advanced pacemaker, but I want to be returned to Earth afterward with the documentation Medics mentioned." Dr. Vexel made a gesture that Quinn interpreted as agreement. "A wise choice. We will begin preparations immediately." The alien turned to Nellox. "Prepare the surgical chamber and synthesize a human-compatible cardiac regulator according to Medix's specifications." As Nellox hurried away, Dr. Vexel adjusted the controls of the biosuppression field, allowing Quinn to sit up slowly. The medical bed adjusted beneath him, forming a supportive backrest. "The procedure will require complete cellular suspension," Dr. Vexel explained, retrieving a small vial of iridescent blue liquid from a nearby cabinet. This solution will place you in a state similar to what humans call suspended animation. You will experience no pain or awareness during the surgery. Quinn eyed the vial nervously. Is that safe for humans? Medics floated closer. I have analyzed your complete genetic and physiological profile. The suspension solution has been specifically calibrated for your biology. It carries no risk of adverse reaction. That's reassuring, Quinn said, though his heart rate was increasing with anxiety. Dr. Vexel noticed his distress. Your cardiac rhythm is becoming erratic again. This confirms the deterioration of your current device. We should proceed quickly. Quinn nodded, trying to calm himself. All right, I'm ready. Dr. Vexel handed him the vial. Drink this completely. The suspension effect will begin within 30 seconds. Quinn took the vial with trembling hands. The liquid inside shimmered with an inner light, swirling even though the container remained still. He took a deep breath, then brought the vial to his lips and drank the contents in a single swallow. The liquid tasted surprisingly pleasant, like mint and honey, with a strange aftertaste that reminded him of electricity. Almost immediately, a warm sensation spread through his body, starting from his stomach and radiating outward to his limbs. You may experience a tingling sensation followed by progressive numbness, Dr. Vexel informed him. This is normal. The suspension begins at your extremities and moves inward toward your core. Quinn watched with fascination as his hands began to take on a slight bluish tint. The tingling sensation intensified, then faded to numbness. He could still move his fingers, but they felt distant, as if they belonged to someone else. How long will I be unconscious? He asked, his voice already sounding strange to his own ears. From your perspective, only moments, Dr. Vexel assured him. When you awaken, the procedure will be complete. The numbness had reached Quinn's elbows and knees now, continuing its inexorable progress toward his torso. His eyelids felt heavy and his thoughts began to drift. Just relax. Dr. Vexel's voice seemed to come from far away. When you wake up, your heart will be stronger than ever before. The last thing Quinn saw before darkness claimed him was the alien doctor's amber eyes, watching him with what looked remarkably like compassion. The return to consciousness was gradual and peaceful. Quinn became aware of warmth first, then the sensation of breathing. Slowly, he opened his eyes to find himself in a different room than before. This chamber was smaller, with softer lighting and walls that seemed to pulse gently with a calming blue glow. "Welcome back, human Quinn," came Dr. Vexel's now familiar voice. The alien doctor moved into view, holding a handheld scanner. "How do you feel?" Quinn took a moment to assess his condition. Surprisingly, he felt better than he had in years. The constant, subtle anxiety that had accompanied his heart condition since childhood was simply gone. His chest felt neither painful nor tight, and his breathing came easily. "I feel amazing," he admitted, carefully sitting up. To his surprise, there was no pain or stiffness from the surgery. "Did it work?" "Perfectly," Dr. Vexel confirmed, showing him a holographic display of his heart. Where his pacemaker had been, there was now a small, translucent device that pulsed in perfect synchronization with his heartbeat. Unlike his pacemaker, which had been visibly mechanical, this new regulator looked almost organic, its edges blending seamlessly with his cardiac tissue. "The regulator has fully integrated with your cardiovascular system," Dr. Vexel explained. "It is already adapting to your body's patterns and optimizing your cardiac function." Quinn stared at the holographic image in wonder. "It's incredible. I can't even feel it." "That is by design," Nellox said, entering the recovery room. The regulator mimics your body's own tissues to avoid rejection or discomfort. Quinn tentatively touched his chest, expecting to find a surgical scar. To his surprise, his skin was smooth and unblemished. "How did you perform the surgery without leaving a mark?" "Cellular manipulation," Dr. Vexel explained. "Rather than cutting through tissue layers, we temporarily phase-shifted the molecular bonds, allowing us to access your heart directly. Once the regulator was in place, we reversed the process, restoring all tissues to their original state." Quinn shook his head in amazement. Earth medicine is centuries behind this technology. "Perhaps," Dr. Vexel acknowledged, "but your species progresses rapidly. In time, you may develop similar techniques." Medics floated into the room, pulsing with a cheerful green light. "The cardiac regulator is functioning at optimal levels. All vital signs are stable and the neural link has been successfully established." "Neural link?" Quinn asked, suddenly concerned. "A simple connection that allows the regulator to anticipate your body's needs," Dr. Vexel clarified. "It senses neural impulses related to physical exertion or stress and adjusts cardiac output accordingly." Quinn took a deep breath, then slowly exhaled. Despite the strangeness of his situation, he felt calm and centered. His heart beat strongly and steadily in his chest, more reliable than it had ever been with his pacemaker. "How long was I unconscious?" he asked. "Approximately 8 Earth hours," Nelux replied. The procedure itself took 6 hours, as predicted, with 2 hours for initial recovery and integration. Quinn swung his legs over the edge of the bed, testing his strength. To his surprise, he felt energetic and clear-headed, with none of the grogginess he would have expected after major surgery. "The suspension solution metabolizes completely upon reversal," Dr. Vexel explained, noticing his surprise. "It leaves no residual effects." Quinn stood carefully, pleased to find his balance perfect. "This is remarkable. On Earth, I would be in a hospital bed for days after heart surgery." "We will continue to monitor you for another 4 hours," Dr. Vexel said, "but you are welcome to move about the medical bay. If all remains stable, we can return you to Earth before our departure." The reality of his situation suddenly hit Quinn. Soon, he would be back on Earth, carrying advanced alien technology inside his chest, technology that no human doctor would understand or believe. The documentary filmmaker in him immediately recognized both the opportunity and the problem this presented. "I need to document this somehow," he said, more to himself than to the aliens. "No one will believe me otherwise." Medics pulsed thoughtfully. "I have prepared the medical documentation as promised. It includes detailed specifications of the cardiac regulator, translated into human medical terminology. I have also included basic maintenance protocols, though the device should require no external intervention for at least 50 Earth years." 50 years? Quinn was stunned. "My pacemaker battery was only supposed to last about 10 years at best." "The regulator draws energy from your body's own bioelectrical field," Nelux explained. "It requires no conventional power source." Quinn shook his head in wonder. This technology could revolutionize human medicine. Dr. Vexel's expression became serious. "Which is precisely why we must emphasize the importance of discretion. Your species must develop such technologies at your own pace. Introducing advanced alien medical devices prematurely could disrupt your civilization's natural technological evolution." Quinn understood the concern, but couldn't help feeling frustrated. "So I'm supposed to keep this miracle in my chest a secret? What do I tell my cardiologist during my next checkup?" Medics floated closer. "The documentation includes a cover explanation. The regulator can project a simplified electromagnetic signature that will appear to human scanning equipment as a standard pacemaker, albeit one with exceptional reliability. "You've really thought of everything," Quinn said, impressed despite his frustration. "Our protocols for medical intervention on pre-integration worlds are quite thorough," Dr. Vexel acknowledged. "We have encountered similar situations before." Over the next 4 hours, Quinn explored the medical bay under the watchful eyes of Dr. Vexel and Nelox. They explained the function of various alien medical technologies, though they politely declined to demonstrate most of them. Medics remained with Quinn, monitoring his new cardiac regulator and answering his many questions about alien physiology and medicine. As the time for his return to Earth approached, Quinn found himself feeling conflicted. Part of him was eager to return home, but another part was reluctant to leave this extraordinary experience behind. "Is there any way I could stay in contact with you?" he asked Dr. Vexel as they prepared for his departure. "I have so many more questions." The alien doctor considered this request. Direct communication would violate our non-interference protocols. However, he glanced at medics, who pulsed with what seemed like approval. "The medical AI in your cardiac regulator could serve as a limited information source. It contains a basic database of medical knowledge that might satisfy some of your curiosity." Quinn's eyes widened. "I can talk to the AI in my chest, not vocally," Dr. Vexel clarified. "But through concentration, you can access its knowledge. The neural link works in both directions." "That's incredible," Quinn breathed. "Thank you." As the final preparations for his return were completed, Dr. Vexel handed Quinn a small crystalline disc. "This contains all your medical documentation. It will interface with any standard human computer, appearing as a conventional data storage device." Quinn accepted the disc carefully. "I don't know how to thank you. You've given me a new lease on life." "It is our purpose," Dr. Vexel said simply. "The preservation of life transcends species boundaries." Nelox approached with what appeared to be Quinn's original clothes, now cleaned and folded. "Your personal effects have been restored. We removed traces of our presence from your belongings." Quinn changed into his familiar clothes, feeling strangely like he was putting on a costume from a previous life. So much had changed in the past day, most significantly the alien technology now keeping his heart beating steadily in his chest. "We have mapped the optimal return coordinates," medics announced, floating to Quinn's side. "You will be returned to a location near where we found you, but safely away from the abandoned structure." "I'm ready," Quinn said, though his voice betrayed a hint of reluctance. Dr. Vexel led him to a small chamber adjacent to the medical bay. The room was empty except for a circular platform in the center, illuminated by a soft blue light. "Step onto the transport pad," Dr. Vexel instructed. "The process is instantaneous and painless." Quinn hesitated, then stepped forward to shake the alien doctor's hand. To his surprise, Dr. Vexel accepted the gesture, his 4-fingered hand cool and smooth against Quinn's palm. "Thank you for saving my life," Quinn said sincerely. "And for correcting your initial diagnosis before removing my pacemaker." Dr. Vexel's amber eyes seemed to smile. "It was a valuable lesson in cross-species medicine. Your case will be studied by our medical apprentices for many cycles to come." Quinn stepped onto the transport pad, turning to face the alien doctor one last time. "Will I ever see you again?" "The universe is vast but full of unexpected connections," Dr. Vexel replied cryptically. "Perhaps our paths will cross again someday." Before Quinn could respond, the blue light intensified around him. There was a brief sensation of weightlessness, a flash of brilliant color, and then he was standing on solid earth again, the cool night air of Earth filling his lungs. Above him, stars twinkled in the clear sky. For a moment, he thought he saw a flash of movement among them, but it was gone too quickly to be sure. Quinn took a deep breath, marveling at how strong and steady his heartbeat felt. He placed a hand over his chest, knowing that beneath his skin, an alien marvel of technology was keeping him alive, a technology that had almost been mistaken for a parasite and removed. He smiled up at the stars. Somewhere up there, Dr. Vexel and the Arcturian medical fleet were continuing their mission of healing, moving on to other worlds and other species. But a small piece of their advanced technology would remain with Quinn, beating in his chest for decades to come. As he turned to walk back toward town, Quinn felt the subtle presence of the AI in his cardiac regulator, a whisper of knowledge at the edge of his consciousness, ready to be explored. His documentary about conspiracy theories would need significant revision now that he had proof of extraterrestrial contact. But that could wait until tomorrow. For tonight, Quinn Blackwood was simply grateful to be alive, his heart beating with alien precision under the familiar stars of home.